What's going on, everybody? It's Rev, and welcome back to another Dauntless video. So the new game mode, Escalation, just came out. You're fired up, and you're ready to dive into the harder difficulty. But you don't want to mess up the fight versus Malkarion. That's understandable. In this video, I'll give you all the tips I have for fighting Malkarion, and hopefully give you the best shot at success. Let's start with preparation. I'm going to say, play your favorite build style, but you 100% for sure want to bring a Skarn weapon until you're comfortable with Escalation and the Malkarion fight. Remember, this isn't just a Malkarion fight. You need to climb to the top of Escalation and then fight Malkarion. Skarn weapons are going to go a long way to mitigate a ton of damage on your way to Malkarion and during the Malkarion encounter. Escalation is a war of attrition, so making sure you have enough resources to survive is what will significantly increase the odds of taking down Malkarion and getting those juicy legendary weapons. For consumables, Bulwark, Life Drain, and Ironhide pylons go a long way to keeping your team alive, while supportive cells like Medic and Guardian are great assets to a team as well. And at this point, you're probably thinking, well, this is kind of dumb. You're not going to have enough damage to kill anything. But don't worry, little Timmy. I've thought this through. On the topic of consumables, Frenzy, Blitz, Stagger, and Inspiring Pylons are all great ways to bring additional damage. Pretty straightforward. However, when you get more into Escalation, a lot of the damage actually comes from amps you pick up during a particular run. This might be a foreign concept for a game like Dauntless, but converse with your team. Tell them I'm picking up party play perks like squad goals, and maybe they will too. Maybe you get hit a lot. Bring Ironhide pylons instead of Inspiring pylons. Everything that benefits a group by normal means is exponentially better in Escalation, because it's not just a one and done ordeal. Let's talk a little bit more about those amps. If you have talent points invested in particular talent or amp choices, make sure you take those amps when they show up. They're significantly stronger when points are invested. Don't waste those talent points. As mentioned before, there are tons of damage options when selecting amps. Crit builds can get really strong during Escalation, but that doesn't mean defensive options don't exist. If you're out of healing potions, keep an eye out for the Alchemist prefix. These amps refill your flask and also give you the effect of a Frenzy or Bulwark tonic. Really strong and really useful. You get the idea on amps. Be smart, be effective. I can talk forever on amps, so let's move on and talk about the actual Malkarion fight. Malkarion is a lightning behemoth. We got that covered with the Skarn weapon. The fight has a unique mechanic that allows you to mount Malkarion and get in some damage, so let's talk about how mounting works. Malkarion has a wing attack that creates fissures on the ground that trigger the mounting interaction. You can aim where you mount, so make sure you're aiming for a part that makes sense for your particular weapon. Blunt weapons go to the head, slashing weapons can go everywhere else, preferably the tail. When mounted, you can spam heavy and light attacks, but be careful. Malkarion is trying to kick you off, and your stamina is depleting. During the mount, you're going to need to press the dodge button to take off into the air again. Think of it like rolling a behemoth's attack normally. Get in some damage, roll an attack, get in some more damage. That's one half of mounting. The other is that your stamina is draining over time. Every time you take into the air and reconnect with the grapple, you get a burst of stamina to keep on attacking. Once you're out of stamina, that's it. Mount phase is over. Get in as much damage as you can on those parts and try and secure a break. It's worth noting, if Malkarion is attacking and you fall off via stamina loss, you can still get hit. Sometimes it's just safer to jump off by hitting space or dodge button and not reconnecting to Malkarion. Let's talk a bit about Malkarion's breaks. You didn't come all this way to leave empty-handed. Killing Malkarion is not enough. You need a ton of breaks to craft those weapons and armor. That being said, a little bit of part damage goes a long way. Sharpened and Bladestorm are going to be your best friend when farming. Once you have the fight down, start subbing out some damage for part damage, so you can effectively farm more parts in a little amount of time. With that in mind, Chainblade mains, you're the rock star of this fight. Chainblades are easily the best weapon for Malkarion. Whether it's breaking parts, interrupting Malkarion, or just dishing out damage, you've got it all. Make sure you're cooperating with your team and running some part damage. On the topic of weapons, all the weapons when playing in a group are super viable, so don't worry about your weapon choice too much. If you're insane and running Escalation solo, chain blades are top tier, followed by repeaters and sword, followed by everything else. Other weapons are either too slow, too resource intensive, and can't get interrupts consistently, etc. Let's talk about Malkarion's attacks now. Malkarion has 2 interruptible attacks. One of them looks like this, I'll call it Torpedo, and this. Malkarion starts chomping on you in its mouth. Now, if your team does nothing, this happens. You're dead, no counterplay. But your team can set you free if they deal enough damage. Chainblades can interrupt Torpedo super consistently, and it's the main reason why it's a great weapon for this fight. Sword can parry, hammer can blast dodge, lots of options here. Just make sure you're going for that interrupt. For the most part, the safest place to be during the fight is close to Malkarion. Staying far out leaves you susceptible to lightning orb shenanigans, sweeping tails, and other nonsense. Another attack of note is when Malkarion does a sweep, pauses, then does another sweep. I don't know if this timing is random, but I noticed when I did nothing when it did this attack, it paused for a really long time. And when I was attacking, it would come out of that state much faster, like a counter attack or something. Something to look out for, not 100% how this attack works yet. Malkarion's fight the first time feels chaotic. There's a lot of unknowns and a lot of first times, so with everything in Dauntless, it takes a bit of practice. But outside of the attacks I listed in this guide, it's mainly just dodging like you would any other behemoth attack. The last thing I want to tell you is perks that are specifically good for the fight. Aether Hunter, Rage Hunter, Overpower, Cunning and Discipline, Tough, Sharpened, Bladestorm all yielded great results during my runs, and gave a nice spread of survivability, damage, and part breaks. Malkarion hits like a truck and has one-shot mechanics, so make sure you're prepared. That's going to wrap up this Behemoth guide. Hopefully it helped you in some way and helped you prepare for the Malkarion fight. If you liked it, a like would be really appreciated, and if you want to support the channel, you can subscribe or use creator code RevvyRad in the Dauntless in-game store. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I will see you on the Shatter Dials.